Hello and welcome to Treasure in Every Verse. I'm your host, author and Bible teacher Kevin Madison. Thank you for joining us today. Well, folks, we're back tonight for our original uh, uh, video and Bible study that we were planning to do. We did one earlier due to some comments and questions that I had. I felt it necessary to go on and answer that, and we did. So if you want to go see the one that we did earlier today, it was about can a believer, a true born again believer, continue living a lifestyle of sin. And basically, because of grace and the way the gospel is actually taught, Paul, when he was teaching it, there were some people going around and said Paul um, was teaching people that they can sin, that they had a license to sin. Well, I'll get accused of doing the same thing. Of course, I don't, because Paul didn't as well. Neither did God. But because you don't understand salvation, well, some people didn't understand salvation, hence the comments and the questions that came. So we answered that. You can go check those videos out. It is posted on Facebook, and it's going to be posted later tonight on the YouTube channel if you want to go over there and look at that as well. All right, so what are we doing tonight? Well, last time we came, we were talking about not lifting a verse out of its context. And I took you through one that is very popular that people take out of its context all the time. Which one is that? Well, Second Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. So I'll walk you through that. We're not going to double back to that. But if you missed that episode and you want to go see that, go ahead and take a look at that. But tonight we're going to move on, folks. We're going to move into uh, some of the very important things that you need to keep in mind when you're going through the Bible. There are covenants all over the place, okay? There's covenants that I don't have listed here on the board. There's covenants that God made with Adam and Eve. There's covenant that God made with Noah. So that's covenants everywhere. All right. I'm not going to go through all the different covenants. That's not what the study is about. But when it comes to taking a verse out of context, and it comes to these key three covenants, what is this, folks? Essentially, what we see here is the covenants that God made with Israel. I can't express enough to you because people just get frustrated with this. Why does it bother people that God chose Israel? I don't know. Is it because I don't know? The only thing is demonic. I can just be straightforward here. It's demonic, folks. If you hate Israel, if you hate the Jews, now I'm not saying every Jew is saved because they're not. The Bible doesn't teach that, and we all know, as a matter of fact, that they're not all saved. As a matter of fact, most at this point in time are not saved. Why? Because the Bible makes it clear that God has allowed blindness to come upon Israel. It came from him. Why? So that you and I, the Gentiles, can get saved. Do you realize that Jesus Christ, if Israel, when Jesus came, had accepted him as Messiah, what would have happened? We would still be in our sins. Christ would have never went to the cross. God, in his great mercy and wisdom and knowledge, allowed Israel to be blind so that we can have salvation. Folks, just read the book of Romans. Starting chapter 9 through 11, God explains everything about Israel you need to know in those three short chapters in Romans 9. If you're a Jew watching this and you're wondering what in the world is Kevin talking about, well, Isaiah talked about it. That's what Paul was quoting. Go back and read the prophet Isaiah. It clearly shows you that God blinded Israel. That what's going on with Israel is a punishment that was spoken about by Daniel the prophet. Go read the book of Daniel. It's in that book too. Go read the book of Jeremiah. It's in that book. Go read First and Second Chronicles, or Second Chronicles, really. It's in that book as well. Go, oh, by the way, while you're reading, go in Second Kings. It's in there too. Oh, go back to Exodus, especially Leviticus chapter 26. It's in there too. Then the later chapters of Deuteronomy. Folks, it's all over the book. You can't get past it. The last chapter of Joshua, I mean, you cannot get past what happened to Israel. God did it. You're looking for somebody to blame. God stood up and he said, hey, I'm the one. I blind Israel. Why did you do that, God? Because I'm a God of mercy. I'm a God of love and kindness. And I want to show it to others besides my people Israel. And by the way, the Bible makes it clear. The scriptures make it clear. The Torah makes it clear that there will only be a remnant of Jews saved. It was never God's intent to save all Israel. He will eventually.